Hey Jack, sorry about the cold weather at camp this year. It was crazy. First time in 11 years we've had to go inside, and I apologize for that, for the weather, but thanks for sticking it out with us. Found a couple things in your slings to work out that we took for you at camp, and just wanted to go through them for a few tweaks and changes I think would make a big difference in your sling for this season. So let's go ahead and get started here. First thing I want to talk about in regards is our setup after watching the slings here. Setup is in pretty good shape. The barrel is a little bit steep, and that back elbow is a little bit high. It's okay because once you do land foot, you get it in a decent position. But a lot of times what happens is you start so steep with the bat that sometimes you'll miss underneath the ball. So, for example, you can see that bang going kind of pretty high, and that elbow's pretty high. And what happens is when you get in the slot, it's easy for those hands and that barrel to get below the pitch right there. You can kind of see here as I go through that barrel kind of gets below the ball. So just be cautious of that angle. I think it's really important to make sure we have a better slot going into the ball as I take my swing and take my stride. So just something to be aware about in regards to our swing. Mechanically, you're in pretty good shape. A lot of good things that you do. Head stays on the ball, very quiet and compact. One thing I really like is the fact that your levels don't change of your eyes all the way through your swing, so no issues there in regards to that. I think that steep bat on really fast pitching might get you beat up and might get you jammed once in a while, so just be cautious of that, of getting to the ball as short as you can. One thing that I do see that we need to work on is that front foot. So as I back up this video here, you can see as I go to land foot, you start really close and nice where your heel's off the ground and your knees are where they need to be, your eyes are on the ball, your knees are bent, good athletic position. But as I go to do my land foot, you can begin to see that foot really spins open. What that does is that's going to spin the front side open, and it's going to spin that front foot open, and then you're going to have a tendency to drift and take a lot of power away. So, for example, right now, the heel of that foot is facing over here, where we want the heel of that foot right now to almost be facing the guys on deck getting ready to take their hitting videos. So really be cautious of that, and if I back this up back and forth, just kind of show, you do a really good job right there, but show the heel to kind of the third baseman, and don't let it come open naturally compared to kind of spinning it open. You can see at contact here that our knees are just a little bit close together, and because that heel is so turned and that toes point at the pitcher, that it brings your knees closer together, which you lose power over. So, for example, you can see when the front foot is spun, that's going to take this backside. You can see how you're more on your toe, or you want to be more on the ball of my foot. So in a perfect swing right now, I would want to be a little bit more on the backside, so I'd want to be on the ball of my foot more. You can see you're more on your toe. And then I would want this heel on your front side to probably be more over here and have this toe facing more at the first base dugout. And you can see right now it's kind of more facing the pitcher's mound in a normal kind of plate setup environment. So that's going to be really important to get your lower half engaged and getting your lower half more involved in my swing, because your level look great. A lot of your mechanics looks great. Just getting a better slot for your bat angle. And I would just kind of drop that barrel a little bit, so you can see here that the elbow is pretty high, this back elbow, and this your barrel is pretty high and steep. The other problem that it does is it drops your hands. And if that barrel was more at a 45-degree angle, it's a pretty high angle right now, but if you put that barrel more at a 45-degree angle, that's actually going to take your hands, and it's going to make them more up in this area in regards to much higher up by your shoulders, so you can have your kind of hands up in there, and then your barrel angle will kind of be more like this. And what that's going to help you do is it's going to help you work more of a downward angle. If your barrel's too high like this, and your elbow's too much up and your hands are lower, then what happens is you have a tendency to be underneath the baseball. And you have a hard time sometimes hitting inside pitching on really fast pitching or being underneath the ball. And you might get away with it for a while just because you're very athletic and a very athletic kid. But as you get older and the pitching gets a lot better, that won't be the case as much. So just something to be aware about when you do that. You do like to start open, which is fine. You do come back in line, so you have an open stance, and then if you come back in line, you're nice and straight with your land foot there, right? I can just draw that line, and you do have a nice, consistent land foot that's straight. You can see how your front side is beginning to shift on me, where it becomes a little bit open. You want to hit against a firm, closed front side, and right now we have a little bit of an opened front side because that front hip kind of opens up on me, and you can see a contact on this as a different swing, but see how close those knees are together by moving your feet back, by getting more in the ball of the foot here and sitting back and having this heel more go over here. That's going to move this front knee up to here, and then you're going to have more space in between our knees. It's going to get you stronger and a lot more behind the baseball. When you open up like that and you're on your toe, you become a lot more arms, or your timing's got to be a lot more on in order to hit that ball consistent. So just something very important to watch. Your path is a pretty good path. Those hands are in pretty good shape in regards to that front shoulder and that bat path. At contact, really nice with our head on the baseball, palm up, palm down, with our wrists and our hands staying through the baseball, head on the ball. Very nice. So just those are the few tweaks that I would do. What I would do for some drills is I would focus on a lot of tee work. And at the end of our tee work, I would really focus on my finish and just kind of hold my finish to make sure I'm on my backside, the ball of my foot, is my front foot closed. I would also work on your just taking pitches. So if it's not a strike, just standing in with pitchers and just taking pitches to make sure that your hands stay high. You can see as my land foot goes, my barrel drops, or my hands drop. And it's very important to make sure when that front foot lands that your hands still stay up till your hands drop down by my chest. So I think having that hands up towards my ears and that drop in that barrel a little bit is going to make me be more of a downhill angle. You want to drive the baseball compared to lifting the ball, and I think on occasion when those hands drop and that barrel is straight up, that I think we need a lot more on the baseball. But those are the few things that I would work on. I think these are going to be big things in your swing, and you're really, really close, so we wish you the best this season. But work on those things, let me know how they do, and let me know how they go, and we wish you the best this year. So thanks for coming to camp, and see you next time.